Hi, I'm Joan Goodchild, and welcome to SC Media's continued coverage of 2023's Women in IT Security. I'm joined by Dara Gibson. She's the Senior Cyber Insurance Manager at Optiv, one of 20 honorees that we're shining a spotlight on today and in the coming days for their contributions to the larger IT and cybersecurity community. Gibson's being recognized this year in our advocate category. That's the category that includes women who have advanced cybersecurity awareness and served as a beacon for expansion and diversity in the field. So, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm extremely excited about this honor. So thank you.
And we're glad to have you. So, let's start with how you got into your role today. I know you have a bachelor's and master's degree in elementary education and teaching, quite a difference from what you're doing now. And you went through a career change and got into cybersecurity only about 5 years ago. So, tell us about that switch.
So yeah, I actually was at a networking event for business professionals in Arizona, and I came across a company that was looking to expand their cybersecurity presence in the U.S. starting in Arizona, and they were looking for an educator to build their cybersecurity awareness campaign and to work with their clients and such. So, as my oldest at the time, who was 16 at the time, he said, "Mom, do you even know how to say cybersecurity?" And I said, "Well, no, but as you know, I'm a quick learner, and the power of a lifelong learner, and I learned what it was, and I developed their program, and I carried it out, and I brought through many facets of their program in the U.S. Became a sales leader, became an incident response developer. I developed their entire program here in the U.S. But most importantly, I decided I needed to mentor women in cybersecurity. And that again forced me to really learn where I was going and where I came from. And so with that, I transferred again into cyber insurance because with the digital forensics and incident response coverage, I needed to speak the insurance language as well as the legal language when it came to those forensic responses, and became a niche professional where I really work with the insurance side of the house. And now here at Optiv, I provide a lot of consulting and advisory skills for our clients in regards to cyber insurance, showing them how to really focus on where they need to go with their security mindset to eliminate or remediate some of those gaps to get better coverage in the insurance side of the house. We also work with insurance carriers to align our coverage as a security professional to make sure we're working in alignment with the organizations in the insurance industry as a whole.
That's great. We'll get into a lot more about that in just a minute. First, let's dig in a little bit more to your origins too in the field. You gave us an overview of how it came to be, but when you were thinking about it and kind of considering what you wanted to accomplish, what attracted you to the field? Was there something about your previous experience that made you think being in a technical field, but like cybersecurity, would be a great challenge? Was it the call for good people in an industry where they're always looking to recruit? Problem solving, analysis? What specific aspect of cybersecurity appealed to you when you were first starting to think about making that switch?
Absolutely. As an educator, I always made it a point to integrate technology into all of my lessons, be it, my old fashioned whiteboard that we had when we transferred from chalkboard to whiteboard. Yep, I am that old. And all the way into adding computer lessons into my presentations. I added PowerPoint into my classroom. And of course, then sharing that knowledge with the students, becoming a technology educator as well. So I really knew that technology was the forefront, and moving forward will be the continuing of computer science. Moving forward is the highly needed necessity career point of most people moving forward. And when provided the opportunity, I kind of jumped 2 feet. As I said, I really wanted to see where it would take me. And I jumped 2 feet in and loved every minute of it. And although some days are absolutely crazy, and some days you look at others and you're like, you just want to be there to help them, because in incident response, that is their worst business day of their life. And knowing that we handle those scary features, it really is a good thing that we can help and be that beacon of light for those people that need us in the industry.
Sure. Now, talking about beacons of light too, you've spoken previously about how in the beginning too, you at times felt discouraged. You had a mentor who said, I don't know how serious people will take you, or if you'll be heard and listened to, given your age coming into the industry, given your gender, of course. Tell us about that experience and how you kind of maybe sort of overcome some of that initial doubt based on that feedback.
Well, to be honest, I never had doubt because I knew that when I walk into a room, I make sure that um, I am that person that people want to interact with and talk with and communicate with. And so it is important that people understand that we are here to help others, especially women in our field. And I would never want to be that person to knock someone down the way that that person did to me. Um, Quite honestly, it kind of let fuel under my fire to say, why would you be so mean and so cruel to another person in our field? And it just added my desire to want to do better for other women in our field, to make sure that I can be there to support them and not let them hear terrible mentorship guidances that I.
Right, right. Okay, and you're obviously doing that through your volunteer work. You were a co-founder of the Phoenix, Arizona chapter of the Women in Cybersecurity Organization, which is a global community of women allies and advocates who are dedicated to advancing opportunities for women in cybersecurity. And now you're the chapter president. So tell us about that role and how you're trying to build upon some of those things that you just brought up for the others that are in the organization with you.
Yeah, we are constantly trying to recruit, retain, and advance women in cybersecurity across the board. So whether you're a recent college grad looking to have their resume read, I'm not going to write anybody else's resume, but I'll happy to read it and analyze it and help them and provide a little bit of pointers. I had one where it was 25 pages. I said, "Oh, honey, no hiring manager is ever going to read a 25-page resume. Let's see if we can narrow this down to 2 pages and see if that might help." We're also looking to help just be there. Sometimes it's a happy hour where people can network and meet new people and see where that next career might take them. And sometimes the greatest interviews are those that are totally informal, and they get to know them on the cuff and really learn to see where they're at. And so we really strive to make sure that those opportunities are out there for the local people in Arizona. But we exist as a global organization as well. So there's many chapters. In most of your local facilities will have a local WESIS chapter that you could reach out to and find your people, right?
Sure.
And then, of course, Optiv also has our own women's own network as well. So we do many activities in our business entity to make sure that we're helping our own women in Optiv to help them advance as well.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question. Have you launched internal initiatives too at Optiv to try to give a leg up to women in the industry?
That was part of the reason why I joined Optiv. They were very forefront in making sure that women are heard. And we have quite a lot of women in our network that we have book studies, we have professional development. We also have some personal development. I've noticed one of our most recent sessions was a painting session. During the stress of summer, it was nice to have the afternoon off to paint, and we learned how to paint flowers. So we used watercolors and we had some camaraderie. And because we're a global organization, there were people from India joining us. There were people from the East Coast and West Coast and everywhere in between, all to come together in as women in Optiv to really advance not only our personal development, but our professional development as well.
Great. Sounds fun. So going back to the women in cybersecurity work too, through that organization, you're hoping to help close the cybersecurity talent shortage, which is something, we talk about a lot in this industry. What are the factors behind it? Why is it's so difficult to find qualified candidates? But you're looking through your work at finding non-traditional cybersecurity backgrounds and placing those folks in appropriate positions, kind of like, how you originally came into the field. How do you feel that's working so far?
Well, that's because I have experience with that, right? I look at those college grads that are graduating with their computer science degree, and more power to them. I think that's phenomenal because you go on that career path, and some people are straight lines. They can start and graduate and move and do exactly what they need to do. But most of us, our career path is just like a roller coaster, constantly changing and twirling around. So letting people understand that where they're at, with a few tweaks, they can be cybersecurity professionals. I had one person that was in the medical field and she was a pharmacist and she was like, I'm just done being a pharmacist, but so I'm going to quit my job and go into cybersecurity. I said, well, let's not quit your job. Let's see what we can do within your own internal organization. And I asked her, I said, are you aware of HIPAA, compliances? And she's like, absolutely. She's like, I know them all the time. I'm tested on them. We have to honor them. And I said, well, what about looking in your own internal organization? Keeping the mindset that you're a pharmacist, you're a medical professional by trade, and sure enough, she was able to become a HIPAA specialist within her own organization. So she didn't even have to leave her own organization to move into cybersecurity. And that was her way of jumping into the field. I have not kept up touch with her because that was during COVID when we were connecting with people across the globe through internet searches and such. So I hope she's doing well in cybersecurity today. But just those little tweaks can make the world of difference in your organization and yourself.
That's really interesting and innovative way to get someone kind of started without having to make major changes yet, and start to get comfortable with some of those cybersecurity responsibilities, or
Well, and some
privacy.
people
Yeah.
do. Some people have to, change everything. Some people have to get those certifications to even learn what networking is and packets and coding and that kind of stuff, because that is a baseline of cybersecurity and understanding where that comes from as well.
So again, I mentioned the talent gap, and again, there's a lot of sort of controversy about why the skills gap continues to persist. And a lot of people will say, "Well, I apply to jobs, I'm not getting hired, and so forth." Do you hear any of that? And trying to help women and minorities get trained for open jobs, or what needs to happen to ensure that people can actually land those first entry level jobs? Any other kind of practical advice you can give?
Well, and that's rough. I will say that that's one of the roughest things is to get those entry level positions because a lot of the industry is really looking for senior level or higher, more experienced people to do more of the deep dives, especially with forensics investigations. So we really work with, I know here in Arizona, ASU has designed a pipeline there that they're looking to, you don't have to be an ASU student, but you can be anybody to join this pipeline and learn the skills through the internship programs and really understand. They've got like 20 organizations that are a part of this. So that's where the organizations are seeking their pipeline and the people are coming in, men, women, white, black, purple, gray, plaid, it doesn't matter. They're accepting those because there are positions to be filled, entry level and senior level, that the Arizona pipeline does provide them that opportunity to seek it out, that maybe they wouldn't have had that otherwise. And so with WESIS, we've directed several people to that organization to help them get that entry level and that guidance, because sometimes again it's just that little tiny tweak to get, and it's who and they, the pipeline may have a different person that they can introduce them to than I would, or that WESIS would.
Yeah, great point. Okay. With our last few minutes, let's talk a little bit more about you and your career accomplishments. As the senior cyber insurance manager at Optiv, you've helped organizations develop and manage cybersecurity awareness programs and foster expertise in relationship management with cyber insurance and legal providers. Tell us a little bit more about that work.
So here at Optiv, it's kind of two-pronged. I work with our clients and really providing them guidance with cybersecurity mindset. Because I speak as a cybersecurity specialist, a cyber insurance specialist, I guess I should say. I have the mindset of insurance as well as cybersecurity, and I can bridge that communication gap. Maybe not fluidly, but I try, right? So I bridge that communication gap for our business professionals, and I'm able to show them and remediate some of their information that they may need to truly get the better policy in place. And then I also, on the other side of the spectrum, we're working with the industry as a whole to say, hey, we can help businesses align their expectations with the insurance industry's expectations, and maybe focusing on MFA or focusing on privileged access management. This will be their better access point to get that better policy, and helping insurance companies really focus on the expertise that Optiv has to say, let's have Optiv be our referral partner, because they are experts in the field. They've been doing this for 20 plus years. It's not their first rodeo. They know how to remediate a situation. They know how to recover data. They also know how to launch a privileged access management program and manage it appropriately. So Optiv has a depth and breadth of expertise across the board that we can really reach out and help a lot of businesses do what they need to do to be cyber secure.
Yeah, that's great. And you're also a big advocate of having organizations look at cyber insurance as an asset rather than a liability. Why is that?
Well, because it truly is. In a risk management program, you want to make sure that you have cyber controls put in place because that's going to be your mitigation point. You're going to want to have your cyber insurance in place because that's your risk transfer point. You want to have the ability to accept the risk that's out there. If we're going to do business online, we have to accept that there's risk going to be coming at us, right? And so with that, putting the MFA in place, putting an EDR program in place, maybe having somebody manage it like Optiv, having them manage the program will help you be able to manage your business better. And that's why it's really utilizing the skills of the people that are professionals to make the best portion of your cybersecurity platform. And then cyber insurance, that's a portion of your cybersecurity platform. That's your risk transfer. If a cyber event takes place and you need that financial risk transfer capabilities, insurance companies have the opportunity to reduce rates. They work with professionals like Optiv every single day, and we know that there's special rates for insurance and there's cash payments and there's other different features that the cyber attorneys will do a different rate for insurance, and that's where some of that gets reduced. And that's a help in your financial transfer. And because in the end, you want to cut down on your business interruption as fast as possible. You want to be back up operational as quickly as possible. And that's where your cyber insurance policy is truly going to help. They're going to help make those relationships, and they're going to help make those financial decisions that will make it a little bit easier for that company that's enduring a cyber breach.
Right. So, what's in the horizon for you in terms of career goals and things that you still have to accomplish, or things that you're looking to do in the next 2 years or 5 years?
I think I'm going to aim towards getting a CISSP to learn more of the professional management of cybersecurity and really focus on some more of the technical side of the house, as well as building my cyber insurance specialist certification and maintaining that. And who knows? Well, it's always good to grow programs internally. And I'd love to be able to hire some people that I've met in the industry and say, hey, come work for Optiv, because it's a great organization. We have a great culture, and we're really building great, fantastic programs.
Great, exciting. Well, we will be watching. And Dara Gibson, again, congratulations on the honoree distinction. And we want to thank you for joining us today. It's been great having you and having this conversation.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And thanks to you for watching. For now, on behalf of SC Media, I'm Joan Goodchild. Thanks and goodbye.